Hey guys, it's Ace here, and today I'm going to bring you a helpful tip video on what Regex is in Path of Exile 2, and some tips on how to best use Regex as you're playing through the game. So a Regex is just a fancy term for a string of text that you can put in the search bars in the various parts of the game that highlight items that make it easier for you to search through tabs. So this website I have here highlighted is the POE2 Regex website that you can use to help generate codes. I will say it's very buggy at the moment. Almost everything I've tried doesn't work as intended. So hopefully they work out the bugs in the future, but I'll put that in the description below for you to check out, and hopefully they make updates. So first, Regex vendor search is probably the first time you're going to interact with this concept in a game. That's when you're going through the leveling part of the game and you're looking at all the town vendors. So here are just 4 helpful regex for you, and I'll demonstrate it here in a second. But as you're leveling, I will say here's kind of the main easiest one is, let's just say you want to look at rare items. So you can copy that, paste it in here. It will then highlight every item that is rare for you in the vendor. Next, let's just say if I'm a bow character, I'm playing Deadeye, I want rare bows. You can go ahead and search that in. If you're looking for another character, you can just augment this to say wand or mace or whatever quarterstaff. So if you just typed in rare quarterstaff, it would also appear. There aren't any, but as you can see, if I just take out the rarity, it'll highlight the quarterstaffs there. So that's the first kind of step. Another helpful one here is, let's just say you're leveling a caster and you want to look for plus skills on wands. This one will get you there. And then the ever popular movement speed. So here's the kind of complex looking regex for movement speed boots. And so if I kind of type this funky one in, it's going to highlight, there's a pair here, 10% movement speed boots. So as you're leveling, and this is a really good one to use to highlight, movement speed boots, which is really good for your kind of first playthrough. So that's the first thing, is vendor searches. Now the next big use is maps, and so this is the regex I use. I will say, just a helpful hint, when you're making a regex, the exclamation point means not, so it will highlight if it does not have any of these things. So I'll copy the string. Let's look at my maps, and so I highlight here. This is maps that do not have these. So if you kind of see these hidden ones, freeze is hidden, is shown up here. And then I've got my brick tab. So there's a bunch of ones that corrupted that have unbricked, but as you can see, these are all the maps I don't want to run, or they have fixes I don't want to run. And then you can kind of add that to, let's say I want to run Quant and rare monsters. So you add that in, and now you can see, nothing here. Highlights. I've kind of got my maps ready to run here. So this is the best way as you're kind of navigating the late end game of optimizing how to run maps efficiently, by getting the mods you don't want off of your map pool and then looking for certain modifiers that you want to run to juice your maps up. So just real quick, if let's just say you're looking for a mod and you don't like it, kind of a helpful hint is to just start typing it. But oftentimes, if I type in the word damage, there's all kinds of different types of damage. Damage is extra cold, damage is extra fire. So one of the hints, you'd say, let's just say you want to highlight damage is extra fire. You do the E for the end of damage as extra F. So this is kind of the minimum amount of letters to highlight something like that. So that's just a helpful hint. Kind of use like the last letter of a word and the first letter of a word if you got a couple filler words in between. POE2 is notorious for having lots of the same nomenclature for mods, so just keep that in mind. Okay, now to the last three that are probably a little less known. Tablets. So tablets drop in all the different league mechanics. And so tablets can be 5 to 10 in terms of the quantity of maps they're affecting. So this is just a quick regex to show you the tablets that are 8, 9, or 10 modifiers. So this is kind of just a helpful one. Go to your tablets here. I just have a tablet dump tab. This kind of highlights, okay, these are the tablets that are 8, 9, or 10 maps. So it's kind of helpful as you kind of want to screen out the 5, 6, or 7 map tablets. If you just want to show 9 or 10, just remove the 8. If you just want to show 10, right, remove the 9. There's your 10 map tablets. So that's a really helpful one as you're kind of sorting through tablets. This does work for unidentified maps. So if I have this crazy dump tab, it will still highlight the tablets, even if they're magic or not even ogged or transmuted. So that's a helpful one. And then for you juicers out there like me, you're doing a lot of breach, you're trying to roll quant on your maps. This is just kind of a helpful one to show tablets that have 15% or greater quant rolls. So you could just go in, you could type increased quantity, and it will highlight some. Obviously there's quantity of splinters, there's quantity of other things. So this nice little regex here kind of shows, and then I've already sorted them, the tablets that have 15% plus increased quantity of items found. That's just a nice one for finding those really juicy maps that you want to put on your towers for running increased quantity. Next, gambling. So this one's a little bit varied in how you can customize it, but I'll include the regex I use when gambling in the description below. But Amulets is kind of known as probably one of the best ways of gambling currency. The unique amulets are all somewhat valuable, but of course amulets with plus skills and other things that are really rare can be worth quite a lot of money. So this is my regex, and I'll kind of copy it and show you. I've got a dump tab here of gambling. I put in a couple 100k of gold worth of amulets. So if I pop in this regex, we'll just quickly show you what it highlights. So I'm kind of highlighting amulets for value here, so I can just quickly identify the ones that I want to craft further. So what I'm doing with this regex is I'm highlighting amulets that have plus skills or 30 or more spirit. So that's what this little string here does, is it highlights 30 or more spirit. You can change that to 40 or more if you want. It'll take some out. And then the final one is modifiers that have 110 or more of either mana, accuracy, or life. So you can kind of play around with this one, but as you can see, the things that are kind of highlighted, this one's got spirit, this one's got a lot of life and a lot of res. This one's got accuracy, probably wouldn't even want to use that. This one has 156 mana, 123 life right here. So this is kind of a really good way of just popping over, buying a whole tab of amulets like this, and going back over. Don't even bother going through them one by one, but just put them all in your tab like this, and then put in that regex. So look, we got a mana, energy shield, evasion, that one's okay. +3 all spells with spell damage, that one's really good. mana, recoup his mana with a spirit base, so it's probably pretty good. You know, a minion spirit, +1, wish that was higher. So as you can see, this is a great regex to use for that. Just another, this is 20% rarity, you know, for those looking for rarity. And then the final is crafting. So breach rings are pretty popular. Yeah, I've got quite a bit here in a dump tab, so let's just pull out some breach rings. Let's just pull out a few normal ones. Those are magic or rare. Alright, so we have a couple breach rings, but let's just say you had, you know, I pulled out all my breach rings, which I have tons of. I could basically just put them all in tab. And then I want to essence them with mana essence, right? So mana, you could do mana or you could do attribute. I think attribute actually might be more valuable now, so let's go ahead and do an attribute. So I'm going to go ahead and essence all my breach rings. And then this one will tell me, did I hit 30 or more of any attribute? So I got 2 that hit 30 or more. So go ahead and hit these, and you know, you would go ahead and do AUG on all of them as well. But just FYI, so here's a pretty good one, lightning attack. And then you could decide if you wanted to go do greater or not. I never do. So this one hit mana. This one's actually probably pretty good to exalt. Slam it. Okay, so it hit flat cold. So this one's probably worth, you know, mana regen, mana. Mana's kind of low, but then we have really high cold damage and lightning damage to attacks and some decent decks. So let's put that. That might sell for a div, but that's just, you know, real quick, some helpful strings here on how to craft and use regex to highlight different mods that you might want. So here's the 5 tips. I'll put this all in the description below. Appreciate it. I guess I'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks.